College football's back. All is right in the world. The winds are changing, and Ole Miss football is looking to make noise in 2025. Now, the Rebels had a good year last year. They went 10-3. They won their bowl game, but knowing what the roster was and how much talent with the Last Dance mantra was filled in, they felt like they underachieved. Now they're starting over. New quarterback, new offensive line, new defensive line, but they still have the pieces to be one of the sleepers in the SEC. Yet everything starts off with week one. How do you respond down in Vaught-Hemingway against Georgia State to set the tempo for 2025? Let's break it all down. Welcome on into SEC Unfiltered. It's Cole Thompson here. Rebel Nation, like the video, hit the ring notification, and of course, subscribe to the channel because we talk Ole Miss football and college football daily. Download the podcast version of the show wherever you get your podcast listening systems. Make sure you're following us on the socials, back scenes, all the information at SEC Unfiltered, and check out all of our great work found at secunfiltered.com. And as always, we're proudly brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Go visit FanDuel.com/SECU. Get started today with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Whatever your bet is, make sure you do so at FanDuel.com/SECU. This is the first time that these two schools will be meeting up against each other in program history. 6:45 kick, Saturday evening, Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, and a moment to where Ole Miss can truly say last season was a fluke. This season, we're going to meet all the expectations and goals. 5 returning starters from the 2024 season, looking for its third double-digit win season in a row underneath Lane Kiffin. As for Georgia State, they return 11 starters from a 3-9 roster, and honestly, a bit of unknown what this team is going to be this year. A lot of new transfers came on in, a lot of new portal pieces that they believe could hit. But I'm looking at 3 main things in this game that I think could truly set the tone and alter the pathway for Ole Miss. Number one, what are we going to see on the ground? Ole Miss, a lot of people look at this passing attack and go, hey, Jackson Dart's leading the SEC in passing yards. Hey, look how much they're averaging points per game. Look at how well they're connecting through the air. And that's a good thing. It is. But if you know anything about Lane Kiffin's offense, they love to pound the rock. They love to trust its ground game to set up the passing attack. And you know that by looking at the numbers based off of the years with Zach Evans and Quinshon Junkins. And last year with Henry Parrish and Ulysses Bentley, it wasn't up to the same level, but it still was good enough. Over the last 4 seasons in Ole Miss, they finished 11th, 8th, 40th, and 44th in rushing yards per game. So they're a top half team that knows how to run the football. In my opinion, Logan Diggs being fully healthy is a game changer. This was one of the more sought-after running backs in the 2022 transfer portal when he went on over to LSU, goes to LSU for 2023, comes on over to Ole Miss last season, coming off of a torn ACL. We didn't get to see him, but when he's on point, he is a 3-down bruiser that can inflict pain and suffering on all of his opponents. So this is going to be your lead back if he can stay healthy. But if not, you do have 2 good complementary pieces alongside that I want to see what their role is going to be. Damian Taylor comes on in from Troy. 1,000-yard season last year as the Trojans lead back. Can he live up to the hype at the Power 4 level? You also brought in Kevin Lacey from Missouri. What's his role going to be? He's a sophomore, so he's a bit of like a ball of clay that you don't know how to mesh. What is he going to do? Be great in the passing attack? Is he going to be good on third down? Is he going to have a role with this team? I just feel like that when you run the football specifically in a Lane Kiffin offense, good things tend to happen. And in this matchup, before you go face off against Kentucky and whatever their defensive line is going to be, I want to make sure that we know that the ground game is going to be a second complementary piece to pair alongside with Austin Simmons. I'm also looking to see if there's a Trey Harris 2.0. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you Rebels fans know as well as I do, 2023, the Mercer game. What was it? 73-7 final score. And there was a new wide receiver that came on in from Louisiana Tech. We had no idea what he was going to be. Thought he would be a quality number 2 option. Definitely had the potential to maybe lead the team in receptions. Yeah, that was Trey Harris, who finished with 6 catches for 133 yards and a record-setting 4 touchdowns on the afternoon. That was the new era of what was going to be this Rebels football, where we watched this Jackson Dart took on over his QB1 and route to potentially a Heisman Trophy caliber campaign. Who's going to be that guy? Because I know Caden Lee is going to be successful in the slot. You talk to people down in Oxford, he is Mr. Consistency. But you need a secondary weapon. You need somebody else who is going to take pressure off of Austin Simmons when he's on the outside. Hey, we need a shot downfield, 18 yards. Who's going to step on up? The 3 names to know: Dejon Stribling coming on in from Oklahoma State, Traylon Ray, the wide receiver from West Virginia, and Harrison Wallace from Penn State. Now, if you talk to the message board people and you go down to camp and you hear what the reports are saying, it's Harrison Wallace is probably the right fit. Good season last year, over 700 receiving yards out of Penn State. He may end up being your outside receiver that changes and alters the course of your passing game. But maybe it is a Traylon Ray game. Good vertical threat, good speed, great after the catch, averaged over 16 yards a play last season down in Morgantown. Or is it Dejon Stribling, who offers a little bit of everything? Good size, doesn't drop many balls, not going to be known for his vertical speed, but still has some great open field speed. Regardless, I want to see there be just somebody take on the mantle of being that QB1's option as wide receiver number 2. Because Caden Lee in the slot, he's going to do damage. I think most people know that. The final thing I'm looking for in this game, what does this defensive line look like? This was the number 2 run defense in the country last year, and it's basically all brand new. You no longer have a Princely Uwemaliellen. Walter Nolan's off in the NFL. You don't have JJ Pegues. You don't have a Jared Ivey. So you're starting fresh. Now, that doesn't mean you're starting fresh with just a bunch of transfers, but you are starting fresh. You have Xavier Harris. You have Eccles. You do have Prince Uwemaliellen coming on in. You also have Deshaun Womack there for another year. So what are we going to see from him off of the edge? Remember last season, Christian Ballou, who is the starting quarterback at Georgia State, he had his moments. He beat Vanderbilt, beat Diego Pavia in his own backyard at the old Turner Field. But he had a 13-11 touchdown to interception ratio, and he is returning his star receiver in Ted Hurst. So what exactly does that mean? Well, he is not afraid to go ahead and pull the trigger. He is a little gunslinger happy, which can lead to interceptions. And on the back end, this is where you have your questions going into the regular season. It's a brand new secondary. So can you pressure a quarterback into making mistakes? It's 3rd and 9, and you watch as either Harris or Eccles or Uwemaliellen's little brother, they get off the edge, and they're running into Villarreal, and then he throws it into triple coverage. Look at that. It's an interception. Sage Ryan. You can maybe throw in Antonio Kite. One of these two is making the play. They're running it back. It's 6 points for the Rebels, and the offense is anemic for Georgia State. You're going to have opportunities to test this secondary down the stretch. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that in this game. If your pressure up front can get to the quarterback, can get into the backfield, can make Georgia State a one-dimensional offense. And by the way, they have Rashad Amos, lead running back at Miami of Ohio, who was at Ole Miss last season. He only finished with 75 rushing yards. When he is the lead back for a G5 school, he averaged over 1,000 yards a season. So he can be that guy. If you can make pressures and take away one element of this attack, you're going to be in a good spot. You're going to be able to feel like that you are confident enough to win this football game and probably have your backups in by the middle of the 3rd quarter. But prediction time, FanDuel currently has the line set at 38.5, the over-under set at 61.5. Guys, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm taking the over on both. I think that Ole Miss wins this game. I think Ole Miss covers this game. And I think it's going to be a very explosive game. Keep in mind, Austin Simmons wants to set the tone. His first start as QB1 down in Oxford. I think he's going to throw at least 2 touchdown passes. If you go to FanDuel.com right now /SECU, you can go ahead and take that live. That's my favorite play of the day. 2 touchdowns from number 13. It's going to be very unlucky for the Panthers defense to go up against who he is as a player. I think he's going to set the tone for what this season is supposed to be. And more importantly, I believe you will watch as this wide receiver core kind of gets a little bit exaggerated for how we view them going into next week's matchup in Lexington because of how well I truly think they are going to hit. There is so much to like about this team. There is so much to like about the identity of this roster. And there is so much to like about what we can see from this passing attack moving forward. I think you get all of that. I think you get a little bit more of that. And most importantly, I think Lane Kiffin wins over a few more people saying, I went onto the portal once again, give me the benefit of the doubt. I always strike gold. Final score for me, I got this one being a pretty big blowout. I got 51-10 final score. Austin Simmons, this running back room, they go off by the 4th quarter. We start to see the backups come in, and even they get a touchdown. But what do you think happens? And guys, let me make sure that I tell you about FanDuel this upcoming week. In 24 hours on August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day. It's a new holiday for all football fans. 24-hour season predictions. So Whoever you want in the MVP in the NFL level. Me personally, back-to-back for Josh Allen. Whoever you think is going to be crowned the conference champions. In the NFC, I think it's Philadelphia again. In the AFC, I think it's Buffalo. Whoever you think is going to win the Lombardi Trophy out in Santa Clara. Me personally, this ends the drought for the Bills. You will not have another 4-0-4 stint. Whatever it is, make sure you go make those bets over at FanDuel.com/SECU for FanDuel Features Day. Make your own parlays, dark horse winners, whatever you want. Mark your calendars. This is your day for hundreds of hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit FanDuel app or get started by placing your futures bets now, because FanDuel is the one day and only day on FanDuel.com/SECU. FanDuel, play your way. Now, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of Ole Miss's chance of winning? Again, I got 51-10 final score. The over's going to hit. We're going to be in a great position. My bad, 51-13. Over's going to hit. We're going to be in a great position. They're going to cover the spread. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of Ole Miss? Like, review, hit subscribe. Make sure you're following us on all the social channels, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at SEC Unfiltered. And check out all of our great work found at secunfiltered.com. Until next time, folks, I am Cole Thompson. Hotty Toddy Nation. It's a 1-0 start down at Vaught-Hemingway to begin the 2025 college football campaign. And it's going to be very unlucky to see anybody go up against number 13. Peace.